But what does an empowered birth actually do? Beyond the fact that we're aiming for a physiological birth, we're aiming for more control in our birth experience, what does this actually do for us? Because it's not just about birth. So I have a quote inside of my book that basically says that when you have an empowered birth, you're not just empowered in your birth, you're empowered for life. So these skills that I teach inside of your empowered birth basically give you the roadmap to have your life any way you want. And this is really what the theme of my book is. When I was explaining about like what happened before I was creating the book, there was a lot of a story that went into it. And if you're curious, you can always go and check out my book, Your Empowered Birth. It is on Amazon. So let me just share a quick story with you of how this is so important. So I was a very, very strong feminist in a lot of aspects of my life. I had this don't tell me what to do attitude. I thought that I was empowered. Really, going back into my childhood, I recognized that a lot of it was me just screaming out to just try to get some recognition and to just try to live my life as authentically as possible, with everyone else telling me that's not the way things are done. That's not what you should be focused on. That's not what you should be working towards. In terms of your birth, you can't get a trophy for a natural birth, so why try? You need to think about your baby. Healthy baby is all that matters. The same rhetoric over and over and over again. When you are indoctrinated into the medical system, which is through your prenatal appointments, and when you get into that birth culture, you step into it as soon as you're newly pregnant, suddenly everyone has an opinion about your pregnancy. Am I right? Oh, you shouldn't eat that. That's not good for the baby. Oh, you should be getting more sleep. That's not good for the baby. Oh, you shouldn't be focused on that anymore. You're a mom. You shouldn't dress that way. You're a mom now. You're going to need to completely change your identity. This is another thing. Once you have that baby, your identity is expected to change. You're expected to not be focused on all the things that you were before. If you were really driven in your career, now that is seen as something detrimental that's going to harm your children. Or if maybe you want to stay home with your children, now you're seen as the one that's basically putting your kids as like, I'm just going to focus on my kids, but now you're setting the women's movement backwards. And you're showing your kids that women should just stay home. And like, you're basically damned if you do and you're damned if you don't as a mom. And it doesn't matter what your dreams are anymore. You have to put your dreams on the back burner and focus on your family. So it's like we are told that we can have it all, but then we are punished for wanting to have it all, and we're punished for wanting to do things for ourselves. And it's just that ingrained culture, and it starts with your birth. So here is what happens in your pregnancy, is that you're told you can't eat that. You're told you're not allowed to do that. You're told you shouldn't want that. You're told that your expectations are too high. You're told to leave your dignity at the door. You're told that it's all about your baby now. It's not about you. And that carries on into your motherhood. What this does is then you're no longer living life for yourself. When you have a traumatic birth, you're thinking your body is defective and broken, but you're also no longer in tune with yourself. When you have a traumatic birth, you're also thinking, it's like, I hated my birth experience, but I have to be grateful for having this baby, this live baby, and they saved me, so I need to just get over that. And you're not able to honor your feelings. You think that doesn't show up in other areas of your life? It absolutely does. Birth trauma affects every single aspect of your life, where you start to doubt yourself and what you are capable of. So I was starting to speak out about what was going on, and I was really upset, and a lot of people were like, I don't see why you should be so upset. I don't see why you should focus on that. Imagine if I had listened to them when they told me not to keep advocating in the first 2 years of my son's life, when I got good and mad and wanted to explain to other moms what was going on and actually helped inspire them to have a better experience. Imagine what would have happened if I had listened to them when they told me that the way that I was parenting my children wasn't right, and that even though it felt right to me and it was working for me and it was working for my kids, that I was wrong. Imagine what would have happened if I had been told, you're just a mom now. You can't focus on this dream. And I never worked towards this dream that has now come true of having my book, Your Empowered Birth, out on Amazon for anyone to access it. This is the same thing in your own life. Imagine what would happen if you just listen to everybody around you. You just listen to the experts. You just keep following the advice. You keep letting them tell you what to do, how you should come to things, how you should react, how you should feel about what you're doing, and just do what you're told. What the empowered birth does is you start to get your voice back. So my empowered birth started with an empowered pregnancy, of me deciding, getting good and mad after what happened to with me and my son. And I said, that is it. I'm not putting up with that anymore. I am not apologizing for my choices. I am not going to justify what I want. I am just going to do it. I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to beg. I'm not going to compromise. I'm not going to crumble under the pressure. No matter how much they try to guilt me, shame me, blame me, make me wrong, I'm not crumbling under the pressure. I'm not giving up on my dreams, and I'm not giving in just because I'm tired of fighting. I'm not doing any of that. And I'm going to do it in a way that works for me. This is how I built my 5-pillar system, which again is inside Your Empowered Birth. It's what I teach on my YouTube channel. Links in the bio, by the way, for all of the other things that I'm doing. So basically what this did is I had my empowered pregnancy. I learned how to use my voice in a way where I was able to authentically plan my birth in a way that worked for me. And you know what? My family did not like it. They didn't want me to have a home birth. They kept asking, it's like, you're not going to attempt a home birth again, are you? Like, it's really not safe, and you shouldn't want that. And you should really just, you should just do what's right for your baby. Something happened with my former sister-in-law where she ended up having something seriously traumatic and horrible happen. And I was about 3 months pregnant, and then suddenly my in-laws were like, I don't think it's really a good idea for her to have a home birth after what just happened to your sister. And I was like, I am doing what I want. You are not going to take away my home birth from me. I was robbed of my birth experience the last time. You tricked me out. I did what I was told to do. I was the good girl. I got screwed over. There is no way that's happening again. And this is what my clients feel quite often. It's like they've been screwed over 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And they're like, I am not doing this again. And that energy, that power, that's part of the empowered birth mantra. I take that energy and I'm like, I am going to use this to get what I want. I am going to use this. I get good and mad, and I used it for myself, but I also used it for my clients, and I used it for what I was creating. And what this does is you learn the communication skills, you learn the skills of how to get past your fear, you learn the skills of how to actually plan and begin with the end in mind, which is actually like one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. But it works. Like when you begin with the end in mind, you know what that vision is. And then you also have like your roadmap to get there. And then you also have a backup plan. So it's like, well, maybe we can't get to this destination over here, but over here is better. But if we're aiming down here, we're never going to get there. So you want to make sure when you're having the empowered birth, it's about creating that birth vision. It's about getting past your fears. It's about learning those communication skills and being able to advocate for yourself in a way that you're not fighting with them. You're not having to prove yourself to them. You're not having to justify your choices. You're not even going to take on their fear or their blame or their shame. You're not going to take that on. They can tell you all day long that what you're doing, you're going to put your baby in danger, and you can be like, I don't feel that, so I'm not going to take that on. Yeah, okay, I hear you. You have 20 years of experience. Good for you. I understand that. I understand that you have these medical journals, and you think that because you have a medical degree, you can tell me that I'm most definitely going to have a uterine rupture, or that I'm most definitely going to put my baby in danger because I'm not inducing, or I'm most definitely putting my baby in danger because I'm choosing not to have this hospital birth that you keep pushing on me. Whatever it is, you're standing in your power and your truth and saying, I'm not doing this. And they can continue to mommy shame you, and it's not going to affect you. How does this turn up in the rest of your life? Well, I mean, if you want to co-sleep with your baby and everybody around you is telling you how this is going to destroy your marriage is fine. Your partner understands. Actually, you guys really enjoy cuddling with your children because you know that that time is fleeting. And this works for you and you're getting all the sleep. So who cares, right? I mean, is anybody else going to put your baby to bed? I don't think so. Or you want to homeschool and other people are saying, well, that the kids need to socialize, or you're choosing to stay home, or you're choosing to work outside the home, you're choosing to run a business, you're choosing to maybe not follow the typical path that most people think that a mom should follow, which, I mean, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So just do what you want to do. Or you're breastfeeding and you're breastfeeding longer than a lot of your family has and they don't agree with that. You don't have to send them articles. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to explain why you're doing it. It's just like, that's you. That's your insecurities. It's not mine. Same with your care providers when they say, oh, well, baby's not gaining enough weight, so you have to go on formula. No, you can look at that's like, my kid's on a growth curve and we've got enough wet diapers and they're thriving. It's just not following your textbook. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to smile and nod and maybe find a new care provider if you continue to bully me and not listen when I set my boundaries. This also shows up in your career. Maybe your boss happens to be like, well, if you don't do what we want and you don't start taking time away from your kids, well, obviously that tells me that you don't have work ethic. You don't have to take that on. You got a lot of work ethic. First of all, the fact you're working outside the home shows you have work ethic. And the fact that even if you're working inside the home, you've got work ethic. If you're getting a career, you have work ethic. I was told for a long time that I was lazy and I wasn't going to amount to much of anything because I just didn't work the way other people did. I was like, no, my family is important to me. I'm going to find a way to work from home. And I did. I built my coaching practice. So again, this is all about when you have an empowered birth, you get the roadmap and the skills for an empowered life. And you know what? At some point, I will probably write an empowered life guide for you as an empowered mom. It's summer and I already have enough on my plate as it is, but that's probably coming. So again, if you want to know more, you just go to my website, empoweringmomsbirth.com/book. The link's in the bio too. You can check that out. You can check out my YouTube channel. And yeah, I just wanted to let you know just how powerful this is, because a lot of my clients, I help them with their birth, but now they're living extraordinary lives that are truly authentic to them. Some of them have built businesses that their families would not have approved of. Like there is a couple that I served a while back, just like I served first half of the couple, just the mom. Never got to meet her partner. He wasn't on board at the time and there was some stuff that happened. But now they have healed their relationship and they're building something incredible together. So it's like they're taking something that used to be taboo in their family and in their culture that is authentic and true for them. And now they're sharing that love of that out into the world. And that's what really empowered birth does. It empowers you for life. You get the life skills. You change your mindset. You learn that format, that framework. And then you can apply it to get out of a relationship that's not serving you or make your relationship stronger and more authentic and beautiful and create it however you want. You can do that with your career. I built a business using the same 5-pillar framework that's inside your empowered birth. I have used it to make a truly extraordinary life for myself as a single mom who is looking for her partner. Like I'm calling him in, and it's just like I wake up every single day and I'm just excited for how the day is going to turn out. Even though my kids fight, even though like you can sometimes see there's chaos, doesn't matter. When you live your life truly authentic to you, when you have the empowered life and you have the empowered birth framework, like this basically is like nobody can take your power away from you ever again. That's as simple as that. It's one of my favorite quotes. It's one of the quotes that my clients also said. It was like that quote even though it had not as much to do with birth, is my favorite because it's true. It's true for them of what they've experienced. They're really taking control of their lives, and they're having these beautiful, authentic experiences and beautiful, strong, connected relationships with their partner, with their children, with their friends, even with relatives and family members that maybe they didn't agree with before. They're starting to heal those relationships all through all through this empowered birth framework. So again, if you want to know more, just go check out the link in the bio, and I'll see you the next time that I have a great insight for you. All right, bye.